Aloha, my friend. Great session today. Tell you what, when we're going over stuff and we teach in the key of G major, I do that because the mando generally hovers around this G, because it is. When we play and we teach the pedagogy side of this, we generally teach from the concept of playing a C major. So having a G, A, B, C, knowing that that's our C, we've kind of made a root off of that. C major, boom. The one right above it, G major, 3-chord structure. Been playing a lot of 2-chord structures and being able to use that concept of moving our fingers to fluctuate up the fretboard to get different majors. Knowing that a major and a minor has a flat median, being able to work that structure up without having a 1 and 2 finger and making it more comfortable on our fingers with a 1 and 3 finger or a 2 and 4 finger has become super valuable for us. Taking the concept of moving our 2 finger up, go up a half step to hit that minor third, and then use your 3rd finger. Most of my 2 finger movements that I do up the neck reserve these types of movements. 2 finger spread, 2 finger spread, 2 finger, 2 finger, 2 finger spread, 2 finger spread, 2 finger. If I did a 3 finger, having the 1, 2, 3 and not playing the little G string, I would be moving it up here. I then would have a switch around for my next fingers to play that A minor up to the B minor. I'm not going to be going back down the fretboard for my C major, but yet going up the fretboard using that same shape. So when we go up through the process of seeing a major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, minor, if we start from our 6th, we would naturally have a minor. So a G minor as a 6, you have to backtrack and go, gee golly whiz, what is my 1? What is my root in the key of G? So if I have G and I go G, what's before a G? I got an F. What's before an F? I got a E. What's before an E? I got a D. What's before a D? I got a C. Cool. That brings me to my minor 2nd. How about my root? That would be a B. When I look at this and I say G minor has all the notes of B, it doesn't compute, because in my mind I'm hearing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If I had that, I wouldn't have the same interval makeup that I would for a G. I know specifically because I've done this a million times, but when you're working this out, if you write down B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then go back to B, quite literally, try that. B, we could go from B to C, to D, to E, to F, to G, to A, to B. That doesn't sound like a major to me. So what happens is through the process of hearing, we can change the intervals to actually get that tone. So a B to a C is a half step, a minor 2nd. So that's funky. Doesn't need to be that. It needs to be a whole step, B to C sharp. So that's 1 sharp. So you do now know that it's not in the key of B. It has to have a different notation. So when I do this and I go B, the end result is what I find out is if I wanted to have B, I would need a G sharp, which means if I'm having a B, having a C sharp, a D sharp, an E, an F sharp, a G sharp, and then good golly G, an A sharp diminished. That means I'm in the key of B major with 5 sharps. Don't necessarily need to know that, but here's the caveat. If you have 5 sharps in the key of B, and you know that there are 2 more notes in a diatonic scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If I were to say, if I go down a half step to a B flat, I no longer have 5 sharps because all those get flattened to natural notes, and the 2 natural notes that were in B major get flattened to flats. Therefore, the key of B flat has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. B flat major, C, D, E flat major, F, G minor. Okay, so that gives us our G minor. Hence, full circle, doing the legwork to hear that G minor has all the same notes that B flat major does is amazing. Now, don't be worried about B flat major. Just think about this. How do you play a C? Ta-da! How do you play C with your 2nd fingering? Because of teeter-totting. Wonderful. And then 3rd fingering. Well, wonderful. When I move these fingers up and I do a C sharp by barring the 1st fret moving up, I get a D, then a D sharp, and then an E. E flat, D, D flat, C. So the same thing happens with the key of G. G major, G major, G major, G sharp, A sharp, or B flat. you're going to recognize this because if you do any sort of melodic movement, you're going to pull out all the chords inside this. So since we've been talking about B flat major, G minor, it's relative. Every key has a sixth. Every key has a relative major and minor. So when we're talking about this, it opens up the doorway from not hearing a, let's say, a groove like a G minor, D7, G minor. I'm humming it's called a Hungarian minor. It can be based off of a Mixolydian, not Mixolydian, it can be based off of a melodic minor. But more importantly, it all derives from the minor, which is the natural minor, which is the sixth of every chord. So when you play any chord, G, A, B, C, D, E, if you continue the G major scale, starting from the E note and go all the way till you hit another E, sorry, I played an F natural, not an F sharp. That gives you a E minor scale. And that E minor scale happens to be the natural minor. So this natural minor that we're moving through has a E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and then an E. It just so happens to have the same amount of sharps and flats that its relative major key does, G major. So G major and E minor have the same notes. And they're really close to it in the way we play it. Here's a G major. Here's an E minor. Actually, that's pretty true with almost every chord. Here's an F major, right? If we play this F major here, or even the F major like this, you'll notice that these two notes are the same two notes that are in a D minor. Ta-da! So when we're doing this, D minor, F major, relative. C major, A minor, relative. G major, E minor, relative. B flat major, G minor, relative. So when we're going through the process of seeing these notes, what I would like you to do is go on this backing track, hang out with a couple chord progressions. They don't have to be multi, what is it? It's better to stay away from atonal jams that are just, they become boring. Having at least one other chord in there is really cool. So like a G minor, hold it out a little bit, hold it out a little bit, hold it out a little bit, and then throw a D7 back to that G. After doing that a couple measures, maybe play a G minor, throw it to an F major, C minor, D minor, A og, and then back to G. If you want to see how to play that chord, play the D minor, go all the way up to a whole step, and then throw down your second finger there on the D string at the 4th fret. Yeah, love that chord. Anyway, you don't have to do it in that particular chord fashion, but that's what I would do to learn how to play a couple different movements. So when we have this recorded, that's like the first measure. Not first measure, the first couple measures. So the first idea, the A section. Second section has the G minor to F, C minor, D minor, back to G minor. You don't have to do the A og if you don't want to, it's a little weird. But when we go through there, those different notes that we would play over the top of this G minor, we would have all the notes in G minor. G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and then we wouldn't have F natural, that T down, if we were playing a natural G minor. That would be more like a melodic minor. We have a couple different minors, harmonic minor, natural minor, and melodic minor. Out of each one of those minors, there are a whole other plethora of modes which stem from them by shifting over the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step kind of variation. But going through that, it's not any harder than what we're learning right now. It's just about learning our tones. In practice today, you notice that when we started the G minor groove, I went to a place of having just like a that kind of feeling fit really cool over the top of a G minor with a cha cha cha. Those are just subdivisions or polyrhythms over the top of one type of rhythm. They use simple structures, simple meter, over the top of compound meter while putting different divisions of notes in. Now, what that means without the blah, blah, blah is it gives you a single note, which is inside the diatonic structure, another note, which is inside the diatonic structure, another note, which is in the diatonic structure, and then another note, which is not inside the diatonic structure, but when you switch to that other chord, it then is part of the structure of that chord. Now, I couldn't play a D major, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, over the top of that D7, because just flattening my major seventh to my minor seventh for that C sharp to C quite literally gives me that dominant sound that we're looking for. Thusly, you can't play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can, however, play a Mixolydian mode, one of the three major modes from any major scale. Mixolydian based off of the fifth, which in this case is the D. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C for that flat seventh, and then resolve. That can be used. So kind of reminds me of that kind of feeling that you would get over the top of just a individual picking. The right hand that I was doing there with the third fret, open, first fret, third fret, open, first fret, third fret, doesn't necessarily stay all with downstroke, 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 downstroke. I quite literally was speeding up a down, up, 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 down, 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 down. What you'll notice is when you get really fast, you don't need to go on all of these. All you have to do is accent the one on those. So I'm actually doing like a dun 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 one, like a 2/4 kind of thing. 1 2 1 2 1 2, but sped up 1 2 1 2 1 2. But you don't have to do those steps. The idea is play over the top of this and feel out your different tones which work and which ones don't. That actually kind of works. And we can discuss what those are modally and what notes you're using, but the foundation comes from knowing in a B flat major and a G minor, we have a certain set number of notes. This note isn't part of any other key except for 3 other keys that you could use inside this key right now. And those keys have the B flat major, they've got the C major, not a C major, B flat major, C minor, D minor, E major, E flat major, F major. We're gonna have our G minor, and then we're gonna play our F major as a F dominant 7. So we would have, and it would resolve to R1. So where we're gonna go, each time that we work on new chords and we throw this kind of backing track kind of situation at it, the purpose is just to nail out what notes sound absolutely horribly wrong. We'll take what you've been worked on, and then we could add little caveats like pull-offs, trills, 2-bar slides, like we could take intros, outros. We could put in tiny little fills, and then we could concentrate on what the mandolin is actually purposed for in bluegrass style and then country style. Bluegrass style, absolutely, it is a percussion instrument, quite literally. Is what the mandolin would do, or a something like that. It's an accent piece for everything else. However, you're doing a great job. Work on the minors, and since you already know the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, get the correlation between the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Get that minor, flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7 solidified, and knowing that that is the difference between an Ionian mode and its relative minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is always the 6th of a major chord. It was good seeing you this week. Work on them jams, and I'll see you next week. Aloha!